Here's a question. How often is it that you hear love songs on the radio that promote love? Like, love is the most beautiful thing. Love is the most powerful energy in the universe. Love is what heals your soul. Things like this. The songs that they put out, it was like, love broke my heart. Love destroyed my world. I'll never be the person I was before. I'll never love again. All that kind of stuff. See, you understand, you're plugged into a system that keeps conditioning you with elements of energies that lower your vibration. The reason for your unhappiness is because you're disconnected from your higher self and you're plugged into something low vibrational. And it's always going to continue to offer you the same experiences of low vibrational realities for as long as you stay plugged into it. Now, you're responsible for your own happiness in a lot of ways. In some ways you're not, but in a lot of ways you are. So in the ways that you are, you're responsible for using your energy, conscientiously and wisely. You can't be indiscriminate with your energy. You have to be very conscientious and very focused on where that energy is going to go. So if, for an example, that you find yourself kind of miserable and depressed, what you have is the ability to plug into something high vibrational and just like revitalize that low state of energy. Like, in other words, if you're feeling like depressed or sad, just think back to a time in your past when it was like the happiest days of your life and just stay connected to the energy of those past experiences. Those are refortifying your present structure, your present foundation of happiness, because it's all contingent upon where you put your energy. Now, if you keep finding yourself miserable and low vibrational, always understand that you're plugged into that system. It's a given, because that's all it's going to offer you. If you find yourself happy and elated, that means you're plugged into your higher self. I'll give you an example. You could be sitting in your backyard just doing nothing. Could be absolutely depressed and miserable, negative, and all of a sudden it seems like this wave is just coming toward you, and all of a sudden you just feel happy and connected to something that's high vibrational, but then it's gone. It's almost like a wave that just passes right by, but you just got soaked up into it for a few seconds and it made you feel amazing. And you're like, what was that? Well, that was your angels waving over your high vibrational higher self to allow you to understand that you can connect to this anytime. It's just that you're consciously choosing to connect with something that's always going to offer you a low vibration. So instead of you finding yourself in a low vibration and feeding that stuff, just stop and say to yourself, I don't want this. This is not what I deserve. This is not what I'm looking for. This is not what I asked for. And I'm not going to allow it. So in that sense, what you do is you basically say to yourself, okay, I'm in charge of my reality. I'm going to be in charge of my own happiness. And we're going to start from there and saying, I'm going to take my energy, I'm going to put it to something that's going to raise my vibration, instead of me feeding this negativity that's going to cause me to spiral down. I'm not saying this is like going to cure you of depression or suicide, or, you feel like taking your own life. Hopefully it may, because I don't know where you are developmentally that this can reach you that powerful enough. I'm just offering some insight to what helps me, So what I understand in my own world, my own reality, my own truth is that whenever I feel kind of like pitched, I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Because this is all ego based, because it's the fragility of the ego that causes you to be emotionally unstable. So when you operate in that paradigm of the ego always remaining in control, what's going to happen is you're always going to be subject to the same encounters, the same experiences, the same low vibrational situations and circumstances that kept you there in the first place. So there's a whole freaking world out here you can enjoy, man. Take a walk like I'm doing today, because where I live, it's not a healthy environment there. It's not a healthy environment. That's why I always get out as much as possible, and I'll be doing my own thing real soon. And it'll change the whole dynamic, because I know that I got to move geographically, because where I am right now is not in alignment with the frequency of my soul. So like I say to you, I'm not just saying it, I'm living it. I'm literally walking the walk and talking the talk. There's no BS on my channel. What you see is what you get. I'm old school, sometimes old school is the best school, sometimes it's not. But what I've come to understand about situations like this is that when you find yourself in a low, you always have options. You're not a prisoner of that stuff. So you can start taking elements of energies of your past, like your really happy times, or call up a friend to go for a cruise or whatever. Just get out of that low vibrational state of being that's going to cause you to just sink into a misery of darkness and a pit of despair. And you have that power to do it at any time. You don't have to just sit there and wallow in your own self-misery. It's not necessary because it's not going to serve any purpose. Complaining, whining, depression, sadness, all of this stuff does only serve the purpose of the darkness to keep you down and make you stay there, you know? And that's just the truth. So you are responsible for your energy and for your happiness to an extent. And the reason why I say you're responsible for your happiness to an extent is because, of course, you're going to care for other people. You're not going to just be emotionless and numb and desensitized. I mean, I would hope not. But since you care for other people and you put your feelings and emotions to them, sometimes they use that against you. You know, they exploit that and take advantage of it. And there are people out there to do that, a lot of them. Because they know that you care for them, so they're going to use that as a tool against you or over you. And unfortunately, that's going to leave you brokenhearted and hurting and hurt your feelings. So that's where one source of your unhappiness stems from. But the origins of your unhappiness is absolutely when you came to this world, you weren't even allowed to plug into your higher self. They just took that plug and they plugged it right into their system. You know, it's like, welcome to the world 101. You know, and they didn't even care. It's like, listen, that's what their agenda is. I mean, and let me tell you something right now. What they plan on doing is they plan on making it mandatory for every child born to this world is going to have a microchip in their brain. That's what they're working towards. Trust me. You know, that's what they have coming. Because they don't want you to be free. They don't want you to be liberated and proactive and autonomous. And they don't want you to be an individual. Because they can't control that. But you understand they don't have a power. You have the power. Especially in great numbers when you get together with people such as yourself and you formulate the energies necessary in the creation of a collective consciousness that raises the vibration of this planet exponentially. And we all tap into that well, and we're all drinking from that water, and it raises our vibration, and we send it on to others that might be low, picks them up, and the whole process repeats itself, and it's a beautiful thing. So, in conclusion with this video, I just wanted to say that if you find yourself in a low vibration high, don't keep feeding it, because what's going to happen is your mind is going to kick into default, and it's going to start picking up things from your past that really make you angry, and you know, you become PO'd by, because it's going to just want to keep seeking sources of fuel to maintain that fire of disdain and hatred and low vibrational anger. So that's what it's going to do. So, you know, when you're in misery and suffering, your conscious energy is now in the mind where it doesn't belong. That's why you're experiencing those low vibrational situations. And your disconnect from your higher self is the root cause of your unhappiness. And also, it's reinforced by all that stuff you watch on television, cell phones, online, video games, music, all of it. It's an all-encompassing, multi-pronged attack against your innocence and your inner child. So you've been conditioned to receive love as a threat, because the way they portray love is this disgusting, low vibrational garbage, secondhand emotion. Love is a battlefield. I mean, there's so many songs written how horrible love is. How many heartbreak songs are there? There's millions of them. When was the last time you heard one song that promotes love? Love is the greatest power. Love is the most amazing thing. I'm quite sure there are songs like that, but they're few and far between as opposed to what they're pumping out there in mainstream by the thousands, because they want you. Just got a penny. Look at this. Look at that. This is a divine synchronicity, what I was just saying. You know what I mean? This is the way the universe leaves messages saying, yep, you're on the right track. I'm going to put that right back down for somebody else. But anyway, you know, they're just trying to condition you to believe that love is this horrible thing. That's why you keep your heart closed. That's why you're isolated. That's why you're afraid to open yourself up and be vulnerable and show your feelings and emotions to other human beings, because you're afraid to get hurt. You know, and that's why they reinforce, you know, don't open your heart, be cold, be emotionless, and like that's supposed to be some sort of like power. Let me tell you, all these guys out here who are emotionally detached and numb and desensitized and think they're tough guys because they could you know, beat somebody up. That's not tough. That's a weakness. I'll tell you what makes you tough and where your greatest strength comes from. Your greatest strength comes from your greatest virtue, which is your tears. That's why God gave them to you. But even more importantly, your greatest strength is being love and showing love. Not being like these people, desensitized and emotionless, detached, uncaring, unconcerned, isolated, quarantined, contactless delivery, all that stuff, you can see how desensitized and dehumanized they're becoming. They're not even human anymore, because this is what they're trying to promote. Isolationism. And that's only going to serve to drive you into a deeper and darker depression than ever before. And that's the purpose of why they're doing what they're doing, whether you realize it or not. But anyway, I'm going to just cut the video and just say that, listen, you're in control of your happiness, whether you realize it or not. When you find yourself dipping, that means that your cosmic energy has now been placed in the mind. The mind is always going to stay connected to the matrix until you pull it and get it to break that third dimensional barrier into the fourth dimension. And then your mind is born as a soul. And then that's it. Consciousness awakens in the mind. And those two hemispheres become one. It's a beautiful experience. But don't give up on yourself, man. You know, some days are harder than others. Some days are easier than others. It's just the way it rolls. Because don't forget also, out here they're pulverizing us with microwave radiation and satellites pulverizing us with all this kind of garbage. And the garbage that's in the food working in tandem with all that stuff. And the stuff they put in the water and the stuff they put in the air. It's triggered to make you activated into becoming very volatile and moody and violent. And that's a known fact. But anyway, you're responsible for your own happiness. And at any time you could pick yourself up and just pull yourself out of that pit of misery and despair and depression. And if you can't seem to do it, then reach out for a helping hand to somebody that can help you, man. You know, reach out to your angels, your spirits, your guides, your guardians, maybe your loved ones. Maybe call a friend and say, listen, can we go for a ride, hang out, go get something to eat, go to a movie? Just take your mind off of being preoccupied by being depressed. Go to the beach, meditate, take a walk, you know, bike ride, go outside in your backyard and just chill, listen to music, swim in a pool, man, burn some sage or incense, whatever gets you there, you know what I mean, you know, whatever you can connect with that'll take you to that higher place, that's a beautiful thing. But anyway, you are amazing. You got to keep reminding yourself of that, because they have convinced you that you're average and normal and whatever that is. But nonetheless, you have the power at any time to get up and do whatever you choose to do, because you are unlimited, you are amazing, and you are incredible. You just have to convince yourself of that truth, because God knows you are. That's why God has not given up on your soul, my friend, because God sees in you what you fail to see in yourself, and that's your unlimited transformative potential, dormant, not even activated or awakened yet. And the universe is going to wait it out until you come to realize your own power. And stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop playing the blame game and the pity party and all that nonsense. Stop feeling like you're victimized and the world is against you. You got to get rid of that victim mentality. And when you do, you realize that you reclaim your power, take back your energy, take control of your life, and then it all resets itself from there. Because you are the greatest miracle that you have unfortunately been searching for outside yourself. Have a blessed day.